You see, we take this human self way too serious. It's like if you're in a theater, you're doing a play, you put the costume on. First you draw straws, like who gets the best costume? Oh yeah, you got a really nice costume. Oh, I got this stupid outfit, this stupid costume. I got the clown costume, right? And then you resent that. It's like the human suit. This is the human show that these are the cards you've been dealt. But the mind doesn't like it. It's complaining about its role that God's playing through you. Don't take it personal. This is God doing everything. No matter if you got the cool costume or you got the little clown, stupid costume. Remember that Ben Stiller movie? Operation something? I don't remember. But he was playing that role. they kidnapped him and they saw him in this movie. And he was just playing a idiot, a retard. And they're like, he was trying to use, I'm stupid. And the kid was saying, no, be more stupid. I'm really stupid. More stupid, you see? So some of us, we got the stupid costume or something. And the mind doesn't like that. The ego doesn't like that. It doesn't want this costume. Because you forgot that it's a costume. We're supposed to. It's okay. We're supposed to forget for a while, but then we're supposed to wake up. And then you start watching videos, reading books, talking to teachers, trying to figure it out because you realize, like, this doesn't work. I can't find happiness in this costume. And then spiritual practice designed to point to, like, you're not this costume though. You're something, actually you're everything. I was thinking about this yesterday. It just hit me, you know? I was walking to go feed the animals like I'd like to do at night, and boom, the realization came about helping people. And I got it so clear. It's like there's really no difference understanding that God's portraying as all these different beings, but there's only God. Whether or not God's working through this one human form, whether this human form helps one person in an authentic way, or if it helps a million people, what difference does it make? I really got that. Because God is helping God. Like, there's just God. If God wants himself in this costume to help one person, okay, and then maybe in this other costume, God wants to say, okay, I'm going to help 100 people. And then in another costume, the Jesus costume or Buddha costume, okay, I'm going to help millions. What difference does it make? It's still God. God's still in the costume that's helping one person, and he's still in the costume that's helping a million people. Something just, it hit me, it struck me hard yesterday. And there was a sense of relaxation. It's like, this is like this. This is what it is. What difference does it make? It's the ego that wants to claim this costume in its personal life and make it real important and think that it's doing something, and then everything matters then. Then your costume that you're wearing matters, who you help matters, how many people, everything's about numbers, how many views, how many likes, all that stuff. That starts to become important if the identity with this costume, this individual form, is strong. Then you got to take that whole package with you. So something has to realize, and it will, the quicker the better, that you're not this costume, you're not this persona, you're not this character, this isn't who you are. It's a vehicle that God's using so that God can bring the formless into form. That's what it's doing. So be grateful for the vehicle. If you got the stupid costume, there's a reason why you got it. There's lessons in there that the character has to learn via having this costume. That's it. But recognize that it's a costume. This is the thing. Don't be like the actor who goes on stage and then he leaves stage and he wears the costume for the rest of his life thinking he's the costume. This is what we're all doing. That's called sleeping. Waking up is when we realize we're not the costume. So the one that's trying to wake up, really trying hard to wake up, it's okay. I said before, don't call the search off too early. Let that come to an organic end, but do a little self-inquiry and check, what is this one that wants to wake up so bad? Like, what's going on? Is that God? If the essence of everything's God, is that God like all panicky and obsessed and comparing himself to other costumes and wanting to wake up so he can beat that costume and in the process of waking up? Or are you beating yourself up because you're not more woke up? You think that's really divine, the divine talking? No, it's the identity with the costume that's involved in this story of waking up. But I'm not saying dismiss the waking up either. This is why this channel is about balance. It has to be about balance. The mind likes to do either or. Nothing exists and there's no awakening and there's no nothing, or to be very obsessed. The ego gets very obsessed with awakening. It's both. The costume has the software in it to want to wake up. God put that software in the costume, so it's believable. You can't deny that. It's the same as the self-preservation instinct. All the non-duals that like to say nothing exists, if your life is being threatened, I guarantee you're going to try to preserve it, because that's deep software. The self-preservation instinct is deep software. The software to wake up is even deeper than that. It's even deeper than that. Some people are willing to die and put themselves in extenuating circumstances to save somebody they love, or they take a chance in their own, you can say, spiritual recovery that could put their life in danger, and sometimes they die. So it's deeper. The awakening software is deeper than the self-preservation instinct. So don't pretend that that's not there. And it's unending. You can always wake up more. I can tell still that people still can't really grasp that, because the mind is so fixated on a final awakening, right? They say they believe in awakening, but then they believe in awakened. See, I'm saying there's no awakened. Let's take Ramana Maharshi. A lot of people revere him. I do too. It's said that he woke up at 16 or something. And then he lived, I don't know, into his 60s or 70. You think he's not more awake when he was 70 than he was when he was 16? There's a constant refining that goes on. I see it in Muji too. Some of you are going to say he's not awake and all that. That's fine. I'm just using examples. I saw a video of him 2002, and then watch more recent videos. There's a deepening. There's a depth. And then if Ramana Maharshi incarnates again in the next life, he's going to be even more wise. He can get even more wise and deeper than he already was, on the level of the costume anyway. The costume can always wake up more and more and more. When you really get that, doesn't that take the pressure off to think that there's this one and done awakening that I have to get to? The mind likes that illusion, because it can keep perpetuating this nonsense forever. You're almost there. Oh man, I just fell back 3 steps. That's all right. You just keep climbing. You're almost there. You know, this goes on and on and on. There's no there. There's a continuous progression of perfection. That's great, because if you actually got there, whatever there is, you'd be done. You'd be done, meaning you wouldn't exist anymore on any level, on any plane. Perfection has to become imperfect so that it can have a sense of what perfection is. This is why we'll never become perfect as long as we retain some individual sense of a form or identity. And we'll always retain that. How do I know? How can you prove anything? How do I know anything? You'll get inner confirmation when there's space enough to get inner confirmation. So the moral of this video is you don't be such a perfectionist, which comes from deep identity with this costume. When you deeply identify with the costume, then you deeply want to like perfect it into, you know, divinity. You want to make that the costume cannot be perfected. It's not, awakening isn't for the, it's not for the ego identity. Awakening is when you're more and more free of the ego identity or the costume. See, the mind gets things turned around. It thinks this form, this personality, this character is going to be awake. It can't get awake, or it wouldn't exist. So realize that. Don't identify so much with this costume. Wear it, enjoy it, accept the cards that you've been dealt, even if you got the stupid costume. Go see that movie. I don't remember what it's called, with Ben Stiller. Some of you, you'll write it in the comments, I know. All right, see you.